Mikel, that was a great watch. What pleased you the most about that win?
Probably the overall performance and the way we dominated the game, the way we had to adapt to what they do, to their quality. They are a super well-coached team, and it's not a coincidence they didn't lose before today. So we have to raise the standards. We knew that this game was going to require different dimension of performances, and I think individually we were exceptional.
Bayern historically have been a team Arsenal have struggled against. So a win like this tonight, does it just go to show even more so the progress that you're making as a team?
Hopefully, yes, and he will bring more confidence and more trust to the players. And we made changes, and whoever it is, with all the injuries that we still have, performing in an incredible way. So I'm so pleased. I know the difficulty of the match that we played and how much they demand in his actions, and I thought we were excellent.
Your first goal came from a corner, and Bayern Munich looked uncomfortable pretty much with every set piece that you took. How on earth do you keep making it so difficult for teams?
Well, in every phase of play as well, we score from a set situation, we score on the counter after a regain. So that's the variability that the team needs from every situation to be a danger, to be very efficient, and we haven't done today.
Both Madueke and Martinelli back from injury, back on the score sheet, and also great to see Odegaard back on the pitch as well. Just how important is it to have those players back for this run that you're about to go on?
Well, very important, because we had an issue with Leo and we had to take him off, but Noni was ready, Gavi as well. We wanted to manage his minutes. He came on and he showed again his energy, his quality, so the impact that the players are showing, it's remarkable.
Arsenal have never won the Champions League, but the way you're playing, the form you're in, the momentum that you've got at the moment, does this feel like your year?
I don't know. We're still so far. We have a really good record so far. We have to continue, enjoy tonight, because tomorrow we have to start to prepare to go to Stamford Bridge.
Vincent, just talk us through how you saw the game from a Bayern perspective tonight.
We played against a very good Arsenal team today, so well done to them. The first half was I felt like once we got past, I think we started the game well enough, but then they had a bit of momentum with the set pieces, and once we got past that moment, I felt like we were growing in the first half. Probably at half time, I thought that continuing that way would give us a win, but and then in the second half we didn't come out at all, so we sort of let ourselves a little bit down in the second half in comparison to what we used to, the standards and everything. And I felt we exposed ourselves a little bit too easily for them, to just actually win the games on good basics. They've got quality as well. We've got to recognise they've got a very, very strong bench. So as and when they are making the subs, they're not really losing much or anything at all. And we just I'd love to play them again as soon as possible. We'll have to wait a little bit, and hopefully in the latter stages with a good amount of learning from this game.
What would you do differently if you were to play them again?
Well, first of all, I'd have a home game as well in there. But no, credit to them. We'll see. They're a good team. They'll be a good team until the end of the season. I think for us, it's been a good run. We've given ourselves the right to sort of go into this game and sort of approach this game with a lot of belief. But we'll have to react. Big teams react, so that's what we have to do on Saturday. And this game will be done, and we'll do the analysis and use it as something. I hope this game will help us in March, and that's important.
For a lot of English football fans, it may have been their first time seeing Lennart Karl play tonight. He's just 17 years old. Just how good can he be?
Yeah, we missed Lucho Diaz today. We had Jamal Musiala not there, Alphonso Davies, and Serge Gnabry was coming back from an injury. So we've really needed him, and we've benefited from him sort of popping up out of the academy and sort of giving us A-star performances straight away. It's helped us a lot this season.
Declan, congratulations on the player of the match performance. That felt like two of the best teams in Europe battling it out. How does it feel to win that performance, and what about the game as well?
Yeah, obviously Bayern Munich have been incredible this season. Their record speaks for itself, and we knew the magnitude of the game tonight. On these big Champions League nights at the Emirates, we just feel it. There's something in our tummies that want to make us go out there and win, and we had that again tonight. I think first half was an okay performance. 1-1 was probably fair, but second half I think we was outstanding. I don't even think they had a shot, and that's what we got to do. It's what we got to keep doing to teams when they come to this place. Keep suffocating them, and yeah, it was a positive night.
You have a habit of pulling out colossal performances in the Champions League. What is it about this tournament that brings out the best in you?
I actually don't know. All the boys are asking me that inside. I think I've played football for so long now at the highest level. I know what it takes to play against these big teams, and to stay focused and obviously to keep playing well. It's a lot of games going on at the minute, and I actually prefer that. I'm in a state where games are every 3 or 4 days, but I'm enjoying that because I'm getting the rhythm and probably feeling the best I've ever felt. So yeah, I'm doing okay at the minute.
You've spoken about the finishers. How much of a boost does it give you on the pitch when you see the likes of Martinelli and Calafiori coming on?
Incredible. I think they're so good. I think we've they've missed big parts of the season, not Calafiori, but Martinelli, Odegaard, Madueke, Kai, Victor, Gabby Jesus, 6 of the best attackers in Europe, and we've navigated it really well so far without them, but now we've got them back. I think you're going to see a different Arsenal, and an Arsenal that can win a game in any context. So yeah, I think it's exciting times to come.
And just one final one. A lot of people are going to put you as favourites now for the Champions League. Are you comfortable with that tag?
Yeah, it's just a lot of talk, obviously. Like Champions League, you're either in or you're out. And obviously at the minute, it's only the group stage. And yeah, anything can happen. I think look at last season, PSG did. Liverpool finished top last year and then they faced PSG and they was out. So look, anything can happen in this competition, and we've just got to take one game at a time, stay focused and be ready for whatever is thrown at us, because on our day I think we can beat anyone.
Harry, not the result Bayern wanted tonight. How did you find it out there?
Yeah, tough game, kind of what we expected. A good battle, I thought, in the first half was fairly even, and the draw was probably the fair result. And then second half, we just didn't quite have the same intensity, the same energy. We lost too many duels, and in the end, Arsenal, punished us for that. So one to learn from for sure. We're playing against a really good side, our first loss of the season. So we don't want to panic too much about it, but for sure we can learn about it.
How different were this Arsenal side to the one you faced before?
Yeah, they're a good team. There's a reason why they've won every game in the Champions League and why they're top of the Premier League. They've got good structure. They win, first, second balls, and then obviously set pieces. We knew they was going to be dangerous. They've got a good squad. We'll see. I'm sure we'll see them again later stages of the Champions League, and we look forward to that one.
What did the manager ask of you tonight? Because at times you were dropping really deep. Yeah,
the same as pretty much every game this season, to try and move them out of position, try and drag them out, and use runners in behind to exploit the space. Credit to them, they defended it well. They defended man for man pretty much all over the pitch. And then, like I said, in that second half especially, we just didn't quite come out with the ball enough in those moments, and got punished for it.
The perfect record in the Champions League for Bayern is now gone, but it's a competition you're so desperate to win as a player and as a team as well. So how much can you read into a result like this?
Yeah, like I touched on earlier, I don't think it's time to panic. I think you can learn from it for sure. But look, we played Chelsea, we played PSG away, we played Arsenal away. We've had a lot of tough games in the Champions League so far. We've won the majority of them. We have 3 games now left that, on paper, if we reach our level, we should be able to win. And like I said, I'm sure we'll come against some tough teams later on in the stages come, March time.
Although you didn't score tonight, you're having a phenomenal season, 29 goals for club and country. In a World Cup year, how important is it for you to just keep that form going right the way through the season?
Yeah, I think it's important for sure. I think as a striker, you want to be scoring goals, you want to be affecting games and helping the team. And whenever there's a World Cup at the end of the season, you've always got one eye on that. And ultimately, even though it's a long way away, it's just about staying fit, staying as fresh as possible. We have a few more games now before we get a break. So just trying to, grind it out until then.
Noni, what a way to mark your return. Your first Arsenal goal, your first Champions League goal too. How good does it feel to be back?
Yeah, no, first of all, I just want to thank my Lord and Saviour, Jesus Christ. And it's just amazing, to be fair. First goal, couldn't have picked a better game, to be fair. It's always difficult, as an attacker, you want to hit the ground running straight away. Sometimes you got to wait, but it was perfect. I'm so happy that the team got the win as well.
3-1 against Bayern Munich, a team that Arsenal have historically struggled against. How big of a statement was that?
Yeah, it's an incredible statement. But we know the work that we put in every single day. We're so together, and we go into these type of games now with a real confidence that we're going to get the job done, and that's exactly what we did today. So we're really satisfied. But of course, we got another big one on Sunday. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, there were some unfair comments when you signed for Arsenal this summer. How much more determined did that make you to prove yourself here at Arsenal?
Yeah, it was a little factor for sure. Of course, I'm a confident player, so. I don't really like anyone telling me that I can't do something, but it's really my teammates and the staff and how they've taken to me and the belief that they have in me. That's really the real reason why I want to, do my thing here and give back and play really well and help us win trophies, which is what we're all trying to do. So,
as you say, it's your old club Chelsea next. They've just beat Barcelona. You've just beaten Bayern Munich. What sort of game have we got to look forward to in the Premier League this weekend?
Well, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see on Sunday. Obviously, first versus second. They got a top team. We're a top team. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. And God willing, we get the result that we all want.
Moments like this probably don't come along in people's careers that often. Do you really just have to take them in?
Yeah, definitely. I think if you look at Bayern Munich this season, they've been the best team in Europe. And the games they've won tell you that. So we knew tonight what type of game we was in for. Probably the toughest game tactically we've played all season, to be honest with you. The way they move, the way they drag you around, it takes a lot of communication and a lot of thinking.
Some crazy rotations from them, isn't
It's
there?
incredible. The way they work it is so good, and it's top tier. But
Is that why you guys almost sat off them a little bit in the first half?
yeah, when they drop you deep, it's so hard to pick up references across the pitch. It's so hard to get up to a man because they're just rotating constantly. So it's about staying zonal and waiting for the opportunity to pounce. And I think second half we've done that much better. We got our references right. We really went man to man with them. And yeah, it was an all-round great performance because it is Bayern Munich. They've been unbelievable this year, and I thought tonight we was outstanding.
Declan, just talk to me about Supermendy, because I was saying there that you were running free in that game, galloping all over the pitch. It's just like someone's lifted the chains off you to say, right. And is it Supermendy that is giving you that license to, because it was just there?
Yeah, I think, it's been so easy to play with him. We obviously only signed him in the summer, and usually to build a connection with a player takes a while, but from the first moment we had with each other in pre-season, I could just tell that I was going to play some good football with him. I just really liked him as a person, as a player, and I think as the games have gone on, our understanding of each other has been outstanding, and he's just such a nice guy.
Because at the foot of the defence, that platform, he navigates with his passing, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So well, and then I can stay high, Eze can stay high, because we trust this fella to make the passes.
He's Spain's number 6, and you know what Spanish number 6s are like. They're the best at first phase build up, turning on the ball, playing forward, playing into pockets, and that's exactly what we've got with him. We all trust him with the ball. If there's a player up his side, it's just easy to give him the ball, and you all feel so confident with him. So he's been so good for us. Unbelievable player.
Dick, it must be so reassuring to know that any changes that get made, there's no drop off, is there?
That's down to the manager. It's down to the way we work every single day, and the players all believing in exactly what he does. And like you said, every game requires something different. Chelsea on the weekend will be a completely different game to tonight, and it's going to require a different game tactically. But like you said, every player knows their role and what to do, and I think that's the main thing.
Declan, can I ask you honestly, where'd you get these set pieces from? Because to be fair, I thought it was a really tight game in the first half. The set pieces that you kind of pushed Bayern in, they couldn't get out.
Yeah.
Those consistent corners, and it just felt like that changed the game. And then you guys got a foothold in the game, and everybody started to play. But your corners are when did you practice all them?
I think the delivery is a big part of it. I think obviously to score the goal you need a top delivery. I think how many corners you see that hit the first man or only hit the second man. It's about repetition. We don't actually get to work on it a lot, and I'm being totally honest, just because of the game schedule and how much we actually focus on the opposition. But I think it's a thing we've built in for a while now. We know what we have to do. We know our routine, and it's a great way to open up a game, especially against Bayern, who are really tough to play against. Obviously people are going to say what they have to say about us and set pieces, but it's a great strength to have, and we're going to hopefully keep scoring.
But you don't even have to just score from set pieces like you showed tonight and like you showed at the weekend against Spurs. Have you spoken to the manager yet? What's he said to you guys in the changing room? Because that was a big night for him as well.
He's so happy, incredible. He just spoke about the importance of communication before the game, because of how much they move and rotate, that can really put you off as a player, because it has to be constant communication with man-to-man game, and especially when you've got Harry Kane dropping from striker all the way to the edge of the box. Is your centre-half prepared to go the whole way with him? So there's so many different things, and he spoke about the power of communication, and tonight I think everyone was on it. You could feel it. There was something in the stomach, everyone was bang up for it, and it was another special European night.
Does it feel different as a team? I asked Martin about the mentality that we think we can see from Arsenal, where there's so much belief in this side. Does it feel different from last season, the season before?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I think there's a lot more leaders in the team now. I think there's a lot of players who've been here for quite a while and know what it takes to play for this club, and obviously been in a lot of title races, and obviously that hurts, that feeling of always not being able to get over the line. And we know how important it is every single game. We're just taking it one game at a time, but the mentality's been different this year. There's a hunger and desire in us to...
Mikel Arteta has made it clear that Arsenal will need to unleash their complete player against Bayern Munich. The Gunners host the German champions at the Emirates Stadium on Wednesday, and one man in particular could be decisive. Ebereki Eze, described as a very complete player by teammate Mikel Merino, is emerging as one of Arsenal's most dangerous weapons ahead of their Champions League clash with Bayern. The 27-year-old announced himself in North London with a stunning hat-trick in his first derby since arriving in a £67.5 million move from Crystal Palace. His 3 brilliant goals dismantled Tottenham, and truthfully, he could have scored even more. Merino believes every one of Arsenal's 8 summer signings has lifted the squad's level, helping the team build a 6-point lead at the top of the Premier League. But Wednesday's matchup is different. Bayern Munich, the reigning Bundesliga champions, represent the toughest test yet for Arteta's side. Speaking after the win over Spurs, Merino praised Eze's qualities and hinted at the impact he could have in such a high-stakes European battle. "We've brought in a lot of players who can make a difference. But you can see that other teams have spent big as well," the Spain international said. "Individual brilliance can win matches, sure, but in the end, it's the team that matters. If you have great players who don't connect, that's a problem. The good thing about this group is that everyone thinks about the team first." When asked about Eze specifically, Merino didn't hesitate. "I think he's incredibly complete. He can dribble, he can pass, and his technical quality is outstanding. In Spain, we always talk about players who can connect with others. He has that naturally. He grew up with that instinct to link play, move the ball, and build relationships on the pitch. He also has the mindset to get involved, demand the ball, and influence the game. At the same time, he's strong, he can take players on, and he can finish. He's a truly complete signing." Merino also touched on how the modern game often reduces players to simple numbers. "These days everyone judges players by goals and assists, that's just how it is. But as footballers, we see the deeper qualities he brings, the technique, the movement, the intelligence. Even in training, you can tell immediately how special he is. Yes, he's scoring goals, but he's much more than that. He's an exceptional player, and we're incredibly lucky to have him. He can play in several positions and adapt to different systems. He's been a huge addition for Arsenal." Beyond the technical qualities, Merino believes Eze's attitude, and the healthy competition within the squad, will be crucial in Arsenal's title push. You can hear the calm in Ebereki's voice and see it in the way he carries himself. He's confident, grounded, and every morning we sit together in the sauna at the training ground and talk about everything, he added with a smile. "He's a great guy, already fully integrated, and we need players like him. Competition is fierce. There's so much quality in this squad. That's exactly what the manager wanted, as many top players as possible, all ready to play. It makes his decisions tough, choosing who starts and who doesn't, but it also pushes every one of us to give our best in every session. And that's why we're improving as a team." As Arsenal prepare for Bayern's arrival, Arteta is facing one of the most delicate balancing acts of the season. The squad is healthy, competition is fierce, and expectations have never been higher. But behind the scenes, there is a growing sense that Eze's versatility and calm presence may be essential against a Bayern side known for controlling the tempo in big European nights. Arteta himself has hinted at Eze's importance without naming him directly. After the Tottenham victory, the manager spoke about the need for players who can break pressure, dictate rhythm, and stay composed when the game becomes chaotic. Those inside the club believe those comments were aimed at Eze as much as anyone. The coaching staff has been particularly impressed by how quickly he has adapted to Arsenal's positional play structure, a system that demands far more tactical discipline than what he was used to at Crystal Palace. Analysts at the club point to his growing influence not only in the final third, but also in build-up phases, where his ability to glide past pressure could help Arsenal bypass Bayern's aggressive midfield line. There is also an awareness that Bayern's fullbacks tend to push high, leaving spaces between the lines. Iza's skill set, sharp turns, deceptive acceleration, and precise final balls, could be exactly what Arteta needs to exploit those gaps. Outside the club, pundits have already started circling Wednesday's match as a defining moment for the £67.5 million signing. Some believe that if Iz can impose himself on a Champions League quarter-final against Bayern Munich, it will confirm his arrival among Europe's elite creative players. Former players have echoed that sentiment. Several ex-Arsenal figures, speaking on television over the weekend, highlighted the need for someone who can change the temperature of the match with a moment of calm or an unexpected burst of creativity. Iz, they argued, is one of the few in the squad capable of both. Meanwhile, Bayern Munich come into the match with their own confidence. Their midfield trio has been one of the most dominant in Europe this season, and they have shown a repeated ability to suffocate opponents early. That dynamic is precisely why Arteta may lean on Iz's composure. When the game tightens, Arsenal will need a player capable of slowing it down, protecting the ball, and finding solutions in tight spaces. Within Arsenal's dressing room, Mourinho's praise reflects a broader consensus. Senior players have reportedly been struck by Iz's humility and work ethic, qualities that have helped him integrate seamlessly into a squad that already had strong internal chemistry. Staff members describe him as someone who never forces the game and lets the match come to him, characteristics that could prove invaluable in a high-tension Champions League tie. As kickoff approaches, the narrative surrounding the match has shifted. What began as a test of Arsenal's resilience has quietly become a spotlight on whether Iz can elevate them in Europe the same way he has in the Premier League. For Arteta, the equation is simple. If Arsenal are to overcome Bayern, they will need more than intensity. They will need control. They will need creativity. And increasingly, they will need the completeness Iz brings to every phase of the pitch. Whether he starts in a wide role as a floating midfielder, or even as an interior playmaker, the expectation is the same. Iz will have to find the spaces others cannot, and influence the game in ways that statistics alone will not capture. The stakes are high, the opponent is formidable, and the spotlight is intense. But within the walls of London Coney, the belief is growing that this is exactly the kind of stage Ebereki Iz was signed for. Martin Odegaard is nearing a return to action after suffering a medial collateral ligament injury in Arsenal's 2-0 win over West Ham earlier in October. Yet, 3.5 years after Mikel Arteta named him captain, the Norwegian finds himself in an unfamiliar position. His place in the starting lineup is no longer guaranteed. For the first time since joining the club permanently from Real Madrid in August 2021, there is real debate over whether he remains an automatic choice for Arteta's 11. Odegaard, now 26, has been central to Arsenal's resurgence under Arteta, the conductor who shaped the team's rhythm through some of their most fluid football. But this season, the Gunners have been forced to navigate long stretches without their captain, first due to a shoulder issue that kept him out of 4 matches in September, and then because of a knee collision with West Ham's Crescencio Somerville that sidelined him again. And during his absence, something significant happened. Ebereki Iz stepped into the spotlight. Iz's sensational hat-trick in the North London Derby has complicated the picture. Now thriving in a central role, the England international has given Arsenal a different kind of presence around the edge of the box. A blend of unpredictability, directness, and two-footed confidence that opponents struggle to contain. He may not control games with the same metronomic precision as Odegaard, but he offers a spark, a willingness to take risks at moments when Arsenal need a jolt of creativity. After such a standout performance against Tottenham, it feels almost impossible to imagine Arteta leaving Iz out. The manager has always had a soft spot for players riding a wave of confidence, and Iz is currently surfing at full height. There was a similar situation back in September, when Mikel Merino was handed a start against Manchester City after scoring 4 times in 2 games for Spain, including a hat-trick against Turkey. Arteta doesn't hesitate to reward form. Iz has carried that form onto the international stage as well, recently scoring a stunning goal for England in a 2-0 win over Serbia in the World Cup qualifiers at Wembley. Though he can play on the left, it has always been clear that Arteta brought him to the Emirates to operate in midfield. And with Declan Rice and Martin Zubamendi near untouchable in the double pivot, the odds of Iz and Odegaard consistently starting together seem slim. That leaves Odegaard in an unfamiliar position. He needs minutes to rebuild sharpness, Yet Arsenal's medical team won't rush him. The plan is likely to ease him back through short substitute appearances before restoring him to larger roles. But even once fully fit, Odegaard faces genuine competition, because ease has shifted the landscape. His arrival has raised the team's ceiling, and his performances have earned him the right to keep his place. Before the dismantling of Tottenham, Ease had scored only twice for Arsenal, one against Port Vale in the Carabao Cup and another versus his former club Crystal Palace, a clever finish that sealed victory. Now, with 5 goals across all competitions, he sits just one behind Odegaard's total from last season, when the captain made 45 appearances. Odegaard's 2023-24 numbers were outstanding: 11 goals, 12 assists, influence written across every competition. That is the standard he must match again if he wants to reclaim his spot, because Ease is hungry, confident, and eager to impress ahead of next summer's World Cup. Arteta will insist that Arsenal need both players at their best if they are to meet their ambitions in the months ahead. And with Kai Havertz also working his way back to full fitness, potentially slotting into midfield behind marquee striker Victor Gyökeres, the battle for places has never been fiercer at the Emirates. For Odegaard, the message is clear: he must rise to the challenge. His leadership and quality remain unquestioned, but he can no longer rely on reputation alone. If he embraces the competition and fights his way back into the side, his return could push Arsenal to even greater heights. And if the team has already reached this level without several key figures, the potential for what comes next may be even greater. Inside the club, staff members are quietly acknowledging that Arsenal are entering a new phase, one where no player, not even the captain, is immune to tactical evolution. Arteta has spent the past 2 seasons building a squad capable of sustaining pressure across multiple competitions, and the emergence of Ease is a sign that the manager's long-term planning is beginning to bear fruit. Depth is no longer a luxury, it is a necessity. But with depth comes difficult decisions. Arteta has always valued balance in midfield, and the contrasting profiles of Odegaard and Ease force him to reconsider what type of midfield best suits the team's ambitions in Europe and the Premier League. The technical control and spatial awareness that Odegaard brings have defined Arsenal's identity under Arteta. Conversely, Ease's dynamism, physical presence, and unpredictable touches give Arsenal a new dimension, especially against teams that sit deep or defend aggressively in central areas. This internal shift has also caught the attention of analysts and former players. Several pundits have begun to question whether the captaincy should guarantee a place in the lineup, especially at a club with ambitions of challenging for the Champions League. Others argue that Odegaard's leadership is too valuable to sideline, pointing to the standards he sets in training and his influence over younger players. Those debates are already spilling into the media, and they will only intensify as the season progresses. There is also the tactical question of whether Arteta might eventually experiment with a system that accommodates both Ease and Odegaard, something he briefly attempted earlier in the season during the win over West Ham. But with Rice and Zubamendi forming an almost impenetrable midfield pairing, any reshuffle risks destabilizing the defensive structure that has made Arsenal one of the most resilient teams in the league. The manager has hinted that he is open to adjustments, but only if they enhance the team's overall cohesion. For Odegaard himself, the challenge is as much psychological as it is physical. He has worked hard to cultivate an image of calm authority, a leader who raises the level of those around him through clarity and consistency. Now he must show that he can adapt, compete, and respond to adversity. His teammates still speak of him with admiration, describing him as one of the most studious and detail-oriented players at London Coney. They believe that once he regains full rhythm, he will naturally reassert his influence. Yet even they acknowledge that the landscape has shifted. One senior player privately remarked that, "The team is different now, Ease has changed what we can do in the final third." That sentiment reflects not a lack of faith in Odegaard, but an understanding that Arsenal have evolved while he has been sidelined. For Arteta, the ideal scenario is straightforward: a fully fit Odegaard competing with a fully confident Ease, creating a level of internal competition that lifts the entire squad. The manager often speaks about the need for healthy tension among his players, pressure that keeps standards high without fracturing unity. The arrival of Victor Gyökeres, combined with the recovery of Havertz, only amplifies that dynamic. Arsenal's season will almost certainly hinge on these midfield decisions. With Champions League knockout matches approaching and the Premier League title race tightening, Arteta must decide not only who starts, but what kind of identity he wants his team to carry into the defining months of the campaign. The next few weeks will reveal whether Odegaard's return sparks a resurgence or a battle for relevance. If he manages to reclaim his place, It could serve as a reminder of why Arteta trusted him with the armband in the first place. If he struggles, it will underline how rapidly Arsenal are progressing, and how little room there is for sentiment at the highest level. Either way, the captain's response will shape not just his future, but the trajectory of a team that believes it is on the brink of something significant.